It's time for another monthly update of all my passive income I got from my cashback, dividends, as well as interest from various forms, fiat money and crypto, as well as a quick portfolio update and show you how things have been developing, because obviously it was a very good month overall for the markets. So let me take you through my various portfolios and hopefully it's a little bit inspiring for you and maybe learn a new channel or way where you can invest your money to get some passive income or grow your money. I like watching those videos myself, so hopefully it will be interesting for you as well. All right, so let's kick things off with my first dividend payment, which I got in the month of October actually. And here we are inside of Interactive Brokers, which is my biggest holding in terms of ETFs, which I have over there for the longest of time actually. I did add some other brokers as well, which I'll share with you in a moment. But here, yeah, I've been really consistently investing with them for a while now, and I can really recommend them. Maybe not the easiest broker to get started, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually really solid. And yeah, I can really wholeheartedly recommend them operating globally. I actually relocated recently my account from Lithuania to the UAE, all internally, didn't have to sell anything. So really, really cool. So we jump into my portfolio. In the past, there was actually a lot more holdings. I was very heavy on dividend paying shares and stocks, obviously. But yeah, I made some videos about this in the past, why I changed away from it, because it just didn't really work with me anymore. And I didn't seem to outperform the market overall. So I said, why waste all that time if I can just invest in the market, which is exactly what I'm doing right now with the SPY5. I pay 0.03% management fee. So literally the cheapest S&P 500 ETF you can find, and has been doing rather well for me, even though today it's down 585. I can just jump back in the portfolio to see the overall gain, and here I'm up $3,000, so which is nice. But yeah, today a little bit of a recline. Might be a good day to buy some more of that, even though I did already do my weekly stock buy, unfortunately, for this week. It is tempting though to maybe buy a bit more, because that's really a long-term position that I'm gonna invest in more and more. You can see I got my dividend paid out, when was that here? 3rd of October. Dividend payment coming in at $146. Now that's nice, obviously, but that's also a quarterly payment. It's paid to me every 3 months. So yeah, it's really, if you break it down per month, it's around what, $50 a month. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm now based in the UAE, so I won't pay any taxes on that, which is great, but still $50. I mean, we'll see a bit later on. I'll make more with interest, even now for my crypto holdings, than I get with the dividends. But of course, I'm not investing in the S&P 500 for dividend income. Eventually, once the portfolio grows, of course, it will become more relevant and interesting. But right now, it's not my main mission to get the dividends over here. So you see the dividend yield overall, 1.1%. It's very low, right? It's not really something you invest in if you want a monthly or regular dividend paid to you. But still, you know, it's free money. I'll take it. I'm really happy with this. Now, as I mentioned, I have 2 other main brokers that I use as well, eToro and Trading 212. However, even though I also buy the S&P 500 over there, I didn't get the dividend yet, because eToro, I literally just started before the ex-dividend date was due. So basically I bought after the qualifying date to get the dividend. So unfortunately, I didn't get it this time, but next time I will definitely start getting the payout on eToro as well. So I'll be adding that to my total dividend income. And of course on Trading 212 as well, where I have a bigger position, I would say. However, I recently moved my portfolio to the UAE. I had it previously in Lithuania, and now I relocated my account to the UAE. So honestly, I didn't really write down how much the dividend I got at the time, but obviously I got the same percentage of my total holding, right? 1.1, 1.2%. That was around 22 euros, which I can't show you because now I relocated my account, as I said, to the UAE. And well, it's a new history, so it doesn't show it. I kind of had to repurchase all the stocks over there. So yeah, unfortunately, that history is not there, but it was around 22 euros. So altogether around $180. Yep. Again, I'll take it. I'm happy with this. It's not life-changing money, but as I said, I'm not investing into the S&P 500 for the dividends, but rather for the total returns, which I always say is more important. Look at the total returns rather than just the dividends. If you get 5% dividends, that's great. But if your stock actually didn't grow or sometimes even drops in value, technically you're worse off. So you want to look at the total returns, which for me always matter. With this, let's move to Cashback. And usually I use 2 apps for my Cashback, which is Revolut. I'm on the Ultra plan and I use my Revolut Pro card. So I get 1.2% cashback on pretty much most transactions. However, now that I'm not living in Europe, actually, I usually only live in Europe in the summers. In this case, I'm not using my card because here in the UAE, Revolut is actually not operating. And it doesn't make sense for me to have the exchange fee every time if there's a transaction, especially on the weekend where Revolut does charge FX fee. And in this case, I'm using my local bank account, which is called WeoBank, amazing bank. The closest thing to Revolut there is, especially in the UAE where banking can get a bit tricky, but honestly, WeoBank is amazing, fully digital. And yeah, so basically I use my credit card for everything, where I now get 2% cash back on everything, which is really, really amazing. Of course, not on rent payment or something, but pretty much every other transaction I get 2%. Well, you see here last month, well, October is still one more day to go until tomorrow is the end of October. So far, it's 550 dirhams, or basically the equivalent of $130 137 euros. So which is really quite a bit. Now, obviously, it's always, as I say, a double-edged sword. It means I also spent a lot of money, which, yeah, Dubai is notoriously expensive, and we're still, in a way, settling in and buying a lot of things for the apartment and so forth. So yeah, there are more than usual expenses, let's say. But as I always say, I had to spend the money anyway because, well, those expenses are there, right? And here I capitalize on that. That's why I'm always a big fan of getting cash back in the form of actual cash, not points and so on, because I'm just not good with keeping track of them. Usually when I finally want to use those points, they tell me, well, you know, Kai, they expired, you can't use them, what have you. So yeah, here I get it basically every first of the month. They send it into my account in cash and I can use it to spend and so forth. So I really love it. And yeah, if I go to all time, you see here, 2,200 dirhams. So basically it's almost divided by 4 to get to euros. So yeah, well over 500 euros so far since a few months of using it. So yeah, I mean, really happy with that. And well, obviously, as I said, since I didn't use Revolut, I didn't get any cash back on that. And now I really shift all my subscriptions, everything over to Rio because yeah, 2% is better than 1.2%, right? And yeah, for me, it just makes perfect sense and I'm happy to use it. Now with this, let's move on to interest on my cash. That's where I'm starting off first. And then we talk interest on crypto, which has been becoming really attractive for me. Cash, obviously less and less attractive because as we've seen in recent times, central banks around the world are starting to drop the interest rate because inflation is coming down. Therefore, interest rates are also coming down, which is good in long term because I think the markets, as we see already, are going up. That's usually a good thing, right? If people get less interest on their money that they keep in the bank, well, they have to do something else with their money and usually they start investing it. So long term is good for the investments, but short term for those saving and like those interests in the past, well, it's going to get less and less. And I can see that already myself. It used to be extremely attractive back in the day, but now I can see every month less and less. So let's start things off with trading 212, where I would still get 4% on the euros. So if you do have euros, honestly, I think it's currently the highest paying app out there with 4% without any lockup period. And honestly, yeah, if I still had euros, now obviously I have less and less euros because I'm earning in dollars and I'm living in the UAE. So it makes sense for me to keep it in dollars. But if you do have euros, definitely very attractive. And you see over here, I'm getting 4.6% on my dollars. So really quite attractive. But yeah, right now you can see also my cash number reduced a little bit. So not that much anymore. And as I said, also I reopened my account now under the UAE. So that's why the all-time interest is significantly less. I think in my old account, it was well over a couple of €100 because I had the money sitting over there for a while. So now, since I opened it a couple of days only ago, but on average, you can see if I go into the payments every day, I get now 50 cents. So in a month, what will be around what, $15, I suppose, just by having my money over there, which is still, really quite attractive. 4.6%, I definitely like it. But again, long term, I know that number will probably go down as the Fed starts lowering the rates, probably once again, one more time, maybe this year after the election, we'll see. But it's just something to keep in mind. But for the time being, I'm definitely happy to take it. With this, we move to Revolut, which I'm still using, and I still have some cash over there, mostly because I still have some payments in Lithuania, which I have to make for our apartments and so forth. But you can see over here, I'm still getting now around 63 cents paid to me every single day, which is really cool. But the interest is a little bit less than on trading 212. Here right now, I'm getting 3.36%. So you can see so far, it's been around 12 euros 70 cents for the month, which once again, why not? Just by having my money sitting over there, I have to keep it there because I do still have some payments out of it to do some transfers and so forth. Otherwise, I would definitely transfer more to trading 212. And if you do have some dollars as well, or maybe you want to exchange some of euros to dollars to get a higher interest rate, even though I always say, be careful, if you do need the money quite often, then you might run the risk of exchange rate, right? Well, you do get a higher interest if you need the money in a week, 2 weeks, but then the conversion rate of euro versus dollar goes against you, then you might actually be losing out more than you gain with a higher interest rate. So think about it, but if you don't need the money anytime soon, it might make sense to convert some of it and have it collect a higher interest rate. So you can see here, I'm getting around, 48, 49 cents per day, which equates to around $15 for this month, which, yeah, again, I'm happy to take it. Free money, I always like it. But once again, I'm pretty sure long-term that number will drop as the interest rates start coming down. I also do use Lightyear, great app and broker. If you want to buy stocks within Europe, I think it's one of the greatest options. Super easy for beginners, especially. Zero commissions on ETFs. Really enjoy it. And yeah, I also get some money on my cash sitting over there, currently 3.35. So similar to Revolut. And yeah, if you can see over here, for this month, it's around 14 euros. It's still one more day. So yeah, pretty much it will be 15 euros that I'll be getting in interest from Lightyear by having my money sitting over there. And the cool thing is, once again, I can withdraw it anytime, send it to Revolut, send it to any other account and start using it. I'm not locked up with any of the platforms I'm showing you today. Now, another app that I have been using in the past is Trade Republic. really great broker, German licensed bank. You can buy stocks, ETFs there from as little as €1, and they have been paying really nice interest in the past. However, they kept on dropping it pretty much in line with the ECB. Now it's only 3.25%. And for October, I got €8.50. But actually now I withdrew all my money. In fact, they actually issued me a letter that they will be closing my account, which was quite surprising. I asked them why. They didn't say a reason. Maybe they noticed that I'm not living in Europe anymore, and technically they're not operating outside of Europe. But to be fair, I wasn't really using them much anyways. The interest has been coming down. The only attractive thing what I liked about Trade Republic is their card, because you can have fee-free withdrawals, which was cool. I can't buy the ETFs that I want because they don't have USD-based ETFs. And the €1 fee for me is just not really attractive, because there are some better brokers out there that charge no commissions. So yeah, I'm not really sad that they closed my account. And yeah, by now I withdrew all the money and I move on. I think there's some other great options out there, but if you are having money with them, it's still a solid broker, right? I still recommend them. It's just personally not working for me. And with this, we move back to WeoBank once again for the interest I'm getting over here. Right now, I'm getting 4.25% on my dirham, which is local UAE currency. And for this month, I'll be getting 156 dirhams in interest just by having my money locked up over there. And once again, it's flexible. I can withdraw at any time. That equates to around €39. And well, hopefully once again, as my savings start growing over here, that number will also grow. And 4.25%, yeah, really quite attractive. And it's really based in a proper bank, fully protected, and I feel really safe with them. So yeah, really once again, kudos to Weo for having such a great offering. With this, we move to Nexo, one of my favorite crypto apps that I've been using for a number of years now. I dabbled around with different exchanges. Recently, I tried also Neverless, which is great as well. However, the only problem is I mostly have Bitcoin, and nevertheless, you can't withdraw your Bitcoin. So if you would put your Bitcoin over there to get some nice higher interest, which they do pay very good interest, you can't actually withdraw it. So for me, it doesn't make sense. And that's why I went back and I recently made a video about this where I moved quite a bit of my funds, still not the majority, but quite a bit of my funds back to Nexo, because I see the crypto markets being in a very strong position. So I said, why not benefit from the high interest I can be getting? And as you can see over here, my portfolio balance, but if I go into the wallet right now on my Bitcoin, I can get, as you can see over here, let me open up the interest. I get right now 3.25%. Now, it may not sound a lot, but it does add up over time. I'll show you in a second. And for example, on my USDT holding, I'm right now getting 9.25%. So really very attractive when you think about it. So you see over here, what I earned right now today is $4.35 just by having my money sitting over here. So in a month, that will be around $130. Really not too shabby, right? Of course, there's always a risk, right? There's a platform risk. There's a stablecoin risk, which I have. I'm not too bothered about the Bitcoin risk because I believe in it long term, that the value increase. And I'm also being paid in the respective currency. So for my Bitcoin, I get Bitcoin. For my USDT, I get USDT. And for my Nexo, I get Nexo. So honestly, a really nice way of getting some money on your crypto and make your money work for you harder. Of course, the majority of my Bitcoin I still have on my hardware wallets on both Tangem and of course Ledger. So I'm really happy with that. If worst comes to worst, the exchange goes down. Of course, it will be really, really, really painful, even though I don't think that, but you have to be prepared for it. And by the same time, I'm still safeguarding that on my hardware wallet, but the rest I put to work over here. And you see the total interest so far I got on Nexo is over $1,400. So yeah, really, really liking the experience. If you want to check out Nexo for yourself, use my link down in the description below and you get up to $35 worth of Bitcoin to get you started. Right, I think we covered most of it already. I think 2 portfolios I haven't shown you. So let's open the Trading 212 once again. So here you see my investments that I have with them. Basically right now, 2 ETFs, which is the iShares Nasdaq 100. That's the accumulating one. So it means I don't get a dividend. Here the dividend is reinvested automatically. And of course, once again, the same S&P 500 I buy pretty much everywhere. The trusted SPY5 in US dollars based in London. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. As you can see over here, numbers are red. I just bought it recently. Obviously, I had quite a bit of gain over the years, at least the S&P 500, as I just recently added the iShares one. So yeah, those numbers might look I'm down, but actually long term, I'm really up with them. This is just because I recently relocated and opened a new Trading 212 account in the UAE. And with this, we move to my last broker that I'm using. Yes, I have a lot of brokers, but obviously it's part of my passion, but also I like to diversify my funds across different brokers just to be safe in case one of them does run into any challenges. I diversify my funds. And I always recommend that. I mean, if you have a small amount, start off with one, but as your portfolio grows, I think it does make sense to have at least a second or a third option just to diversify and not have all your eggs in one basket. So here you see once again the 2 same ETFs that I'm buying, the S&P 500, the first one in London and the second one, the iShares from BlackRock. which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. And yeah, really happy with them overall. You can see the portfolio value that I have. I was up the last few weeks, but once again, today was a little bit of reset, but this just happens. I'm a long-term investor. And of course, I only opened my eToro position very recently, but I'm intending to hold this for the long term. So you'll definitely see this number growing over time. Well, there we have it. I hope I covered all of them. In my last month's update video, actually, one of the users reminded me that I forgot one of the platforms, and it was a good reminder. I have so many, but usually what I do at the first, so I'll do that tomorrow, of every month, I complete my net worth tracker, which is this sheet over here. It's a free template. You can find it down in the description below to download and start using, where I track basically all my income for the month, my spending, to really know how much I actually earned, but then also all my various investments, right? Where am I keeping my money, and really track it, my overall net worth over time, which should be going up, right? Month after month, that's the goal, to increase it. But I think it's very important to really know how much do you have and where do you have it? Because as I said, I have so many different crypto exchanges, brokers, hardware wallet, money is stored all over the place. So unless I really write it down, I might actually lose track. And I really recommend you start doing the same. The first time it might take you 20, 30 minutes to get set up, but once you do it, you're really going to be on top of your numbers and know where your money goes. And I think it will really help you to stay organized and optimize your money over time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. It helps it to be seen by more people. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.